Okay, so we are going to talk about the slope formula now. Okay, so the slope formula is when we want to find what the slope is given a couple of points. So the slope in an equation is called m. So it's m equals our y2 minus our y1 over our x2 minus x1. So there's some steps to solving this formula. Okay, so let's type those in. Some steps to solving is that we're going to substitute. Oh, of course. Oh, man. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, so we want to substitute the x and y coordinates into the formula. So when we do that, it doesn't matter which ordered pair. So we have to choose which ordered pair to put first. What I mean by that is make that the y2 and x2, right? And then we either choice will be fine. Sorry. Either choice will be fine. It'll work the same. The slope will be the same no matter what you choose. Why does it keep on doing that? Sorry. I'm sure this is what you experience when you guys do it. Okay. Simplify and reduce the ratio. And remember to keep it as a fraction. Okay. So we always want to keep it as a fraction, but we want to keep it as simplified fraction as possible. Okay, so we're going to find the slope using 2 points. We're going to find the slope using a table. Then we're going to talk about something called the y-intercept and rate of change. Because remember, slope is the same as the rate of change. Okay, so let's do example 1. Let's do the first one together. Okay. So I generally label each ordered pair as x1, y1. I'm going to do that a different color. x1, y1. And then the next one I just label x2, y2. And that 2 just means 1 is the first one, 2 is the second one. Because remember, our slope equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's why I always kind of write them the same colors. That way I know my y's are one thing, my x's are the next. And now you just subtract them. We plug them in. So we labeled this the 2. So this one comes first. So we'll do 9 minus 3, because that's y2 minus y1 over our x2, which is 9, minus our x1, which is 5. And now we simplify that fraction. Don't forget to put m equals 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 5 is 4. So in theory, we'd be done here, right? But we can simplify 6/4. Simplify them both by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now this is what my m is. It's 3/2. Okay, so all we did was label which one was our x1, y1, x2, y2, plug it into the formula, subtract, and simplify. Okay, so let's do that again. Again, it doesn't matter which one you label as 1 or 2, just as long as the same ordered pair is the same. So like these both need to be 1. and these both need to be 2. And just be careful that you're really putting them in the same distance, like same order. Like we want our 2's first, and we always want our y's on top. So y2 is 2, so we did y2 minus y1, which is 2, and then our x2, which is 3, minus our x1, which is -2. Okay, so 2 minus 2 is 0, but then we have -3 minus -2. We got to do keep, change, change. So 3 plus 2 is going to give us 5. But 0 divided by anything is just 0. So then our slope is 0. Okay? I want you to pause and try C on your own. So I want you to pause and try letter C on. All right, so hopefully you paused and tried that on your own. You have to be really careful with your negative signs, right? So you have to be really careful because we always subtract the 2, but now both of these were minus negatives. So I probably would have typed this right in the calculator so that way you didn't get it wrong. So when we do this, it's really plus plus, so it'd be -3 plus 2, which still gives us -1. The bottom would be 3 minus plus 1, so that's how we get -1/4. Okay. The next example isn't really any different, except now we're just taking it from a table. And when you take it from a table, it doesn't matter which 2 ordered pairs you choose. Okay, so you can choose any of them. Let's just go with the top 2. Oh, that's way too big. So we're just going to choose the top 2. You could have chose whichever ones you wanted. Okay. So our formula is y1. Okay, oh, that's not blue. X1, y2, x2, right? And we know that because this says x and this says y. So now we put it in the formula. Y2 is 1, y1 is -4, x2 is 2, x1 is 3. So now we just simplify that. 1 minus 4 is -3. 2 minus 3 is -1. And then -3 divided by -1 is simply 3. So our slope is 3. So again, it's the same process. You're just choosing which 2 ordered pairs. If you did a different set, that would have been perfectly fine as well. All right. So one more together. Again, I just choose the first 2 ordered pairs because they're normally the smaller numbers. So this is y1, y2, x1, x2, again, because this says x and it says y. And our slope is y2 first. So 4 minus 1 and 1 minus 0. Oh, this is going to be an easy one, which is nice. 4 minus 1 is 3. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. All right, so again, I want you to try C on your own. So pause the video and try C on your own. All right, so hopefully you got 2 as your answer. Okay, so hopefully you got 2 as your answer. If not, check your work. Okay, so let's go to the next page, the back page. So the back page is kind of a word problem, but not. So we want to find the rate of change, which remember, the rate of change is the same thing as the slope. Okay, but now it's talking about your y-intercepts. Your y-intercepts are a b value. Okay, and I know that's not going to make sense, but we have an equation, y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. And we can, given 2 points, we can find both the slope and the y-intercept. So we've figured out how to find the slope, but now we just would need to talk about the y-intercept, okay? So, but we're going to first look at this first part. So we want to compare the y-intercepts and the rates of change, okay? Which the rate of change, again, is just your slope. Okay, so my slope is my m value in an equation, which comes right next to the x. So my m in this, or my slope, is 1.2. That's for the first one. And then my b value, or my y-intercept, is this, 0.4. Okay, so we can look at that right from the equation. Now we just need to figure it out using these 2 points. So the first thing we're going to want to do is find your slope, which, remember the formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We need to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to plug that into the formula now. y2 is 10, y1 is 4, x2 is 8, x1 is 3. 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay, so generally we said to keep it as a fraction, but this is a decimal, so we're going to want to figure out what 6 divided by 5 is. Well, 6 divided by 5 is 1.2. So my rate of change is also 1.2. So far, my rates of the change are, what are they? Are they the same or are they different? Well, they're the same. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you how to find your b value, your y-intercept. So we have the equation y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope. We just found our slope. And we want to find our b, right? But we also have a y and an x. So we can take one of these 2 points and plug them in for x and y. So I normally plug in the smaller number, okay? So we're going to plug in 3 and 4. So 4 goes in for y. Oh, I wanted to erase that. 4 goes in for y, and 3 replaces x. So now we need to figure out what 1.2 times 3 is. 1.2 times 3 is 3.6. We bring our 4 down and our plus b. It's like just solving an equation now, right? So in order to get b alone, you need to subtract 3.6 on both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with b. And 4 minus 3.6 is 0.4. I know this is going to take some practice, okay? But you'll get the hang of it, I promise. And our b is the same thing as our y-intercept, so that goes up here. So now we're comparing 0.4 and 0.4. Are those the same or are those different? Well, those are the same, right? So which one says they're both the same? So this says same, different, same, same. So the answer is this one. Okay, I'm going to have you try B on your own, but I'm going to tell you a little hint here, okay? So you're going to want to find your slope of this table, and then you're going to want to find this slope, find the slope of both. And remember, if the slope is positive, it's increasing. If the slope is negative, it's decreasing. So you're going to find the slope of both and then tell me if they're increasing or decreasing, and if they have the same or different slopes. Okay, so I want you to try that one on your own and we'll talk about that in class, okay?